So, hey, y'all, good day. I hope all is well for you. Today has been an mentally exhausting day. But I wanted to talk about financial support. And there has been some emails going around social media and just some emails and messages across social media um, asking Black consumers or minority consumers to boycott particular stores that have rolled back their DEI initiative. And I wrote something because I'm better at staying on topic. If I read it, then it is. If I just immediately come off my head. So here we go. I've always appreciated the wide range of minority-owned brands from major retailers like Target, Amazon, Costco, and Walmart. Brands like the Lip Bar, Tabitha Brown, Black Girl Sunscreen, Minty, and many others. These stores are among the few global brands that truly amplify and create space for minority-owned businesses at scale. However, when conversations around boycotts arise, I can't help but think about the impact on these smaller brands/suppliers. A complete boycott doesn't just affect the retailer, it hits these brands hard. It also hits the consumer. For consumers who may not have digital access and equity to purchase directly from the internet or their websites, it creates barriers, not to mention the added cost burden consumers face when buying directly. As consumers, we must intentionally and strategically support the brands that support us and our communities while sending a clear message to the majority. Supporting our businesses and holding corporations accountable are not mutually exclusive. It's about finding the integration that empowers us and sustains the ecosystem of brands we care about. Before deciding to boycott, consider these essential questions to evaluate the business. Does the business/corporation intentionally promote minority-owned businesses and companies? Do they have individuals on their board who reflect the consumers they serve? Are they actively engaged in both local and global communities? Do their hiring and leadership practices reflect a genuine commitment to humanity? And 5, do they create accessible opportunities for consumers across all socioeconomic backgrounds, or is their approach narrow and one-dimensional? Lastly, I leave you with this thought. Diversity is about getting the people, but equity is about keeping the people. Whether an organization has a DEI initiative or department, its genuine commitment is reflected in its intentional actions. So even if the department name may be changed or eliminated, you should still see their DEI footprint. Can you easily see their dedication or supporting consumers of all backgrounds, or is it merely performative? The answer to these questions can guide us in making informed strategic decisions that uplift our communities and hold a business accountable. So with that being said, we have to be thoughtful about boycotts because there are a lot of small businesses, as I stated, that the larger retailers have brought into their supply chain. And when we say that I'm no longer going to said store, that then cuts into the revenue of that minority business. And that means that business no longer is going to be seen as profitable. Because if this is not building revenue, what's the saying? If it's not making dollars, it's not making sense. Then they will no longer continue to have them as a retailer. And we also have to consider not everybody stays in big city USA. You have a lot of these retailers that are providing goods and services in small town USA. Small town USA may not have great internet connection, so they may not be able to go online and order. They may not even be able to have certain things delivered to their area. Because we also have to consider not just the 50 state U.S. territories, we also have to consider our 51. We also have to consider, our 50 we also have to consider Puerto Rico, because I'm going to sound like a dummy. We have to also consider Puerto Rico, U.S. territories, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Samoa, all these other areas who are U.S. territories that have chains like Target and Costco and Walmart in their particular areas. And if we start making the decisions that we're going to boycott these stores, then that also impacts the supply chain of those territories also receiving minority-owned products. So we have to be thoughtful. So I get that DEI initiatives should not be rolled back. I actually work in that space, so I'm talking the talk about something I actually know about. But if the things that are being done are performative only, so you're only as good as your last event, you're only as good as the last thing that you were doing, and people don't remember. But have you been in this space for a long time, and this is something that you've been doing, so you don't need a DEI initiative because you are been doing the work. I believe that DEI is important, and I believe that, as I stated, diversity is about getting the people, equity is about keeping the people, inclusion is about seeing the people. Okay, so that's the easy way of saying it. I tell people that all the time. Diversity is about getting the people, equity is about keeping the people, inclusion is about seeing the people. We have to be thoughtful. Are the businesses already, are they in their hiring practices and how they do that? Are they hiring people that reflect a diverse ethnicity and socioeconomic background for people? Okay, so that's one. Two, are they seeing their people, or are they keeping their people? So are the standards that their jobs or that the employers are doing, are those things respectful? Are they paying great wages for people? Do they have good medical benefits for them? Are they doing those things that give people a fair and just opportunity to live their best life? Okay. Thirdly, are you hearing them? Are you seeing them? So is it, do you acknowledge Diwali, when they have Diwali? Are you acknowledging, certain things like Kwanzaa, or just things that are culturally relevant for them? Do they get MLK Day off? Things that are important, but also important to certain communities. There may be certain things or certain festivals that may be relevant to certain communities in those communities. Do you hold space for them in those communities? Do you contribute to some of the nonprofits in the community and help? Do your workers actually go out and perform and are working at any of the community events? Can they see that your brand be in the community and supporting different outreach events, different communities, different schools, different things? So when we are talking about evaluating DEI, they should be doing this regardless if there is a program, if there is a law, if there is a department. This should be intrinsic to that business, that brand, that organization. So am I saying that DEI should be rolled back? No, I am not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, in this state of time of where we are in right now, these are the things that you need to measure, to use to measure these organizations, to see if this is where you want to continue to do business and to patronize and do business with. So I hope that makes sense when it comes to DEI. And again, I'm not saying, I have to keep saying, because people will come back and take your words and twist it every single way. They will hear what you're saying and still twist what you're saying. So again, I'm not saying that DEI should not be eliminated, but in the case that many of these places have began to roll back and to no longer support DEI in terms of having a department or certain initiatives there, please use these particular guidelines to evaluate if this is an organization or business that you want to continue to patronize. I hope this helps.